Hello, namaskar viewers. I am Sanjeev Pandya welcoming you to this week's episode of the Business Talk with Ajay right here on ITV Gold. The show is brought to you by SAI CPA Services, a complete full-fledged professional accounting firm located in state of New Jersey, multiple locations, but they can help you no matter where you are in the United States of America. They can be reached at 908-380-6876 or visit their website, which is saicpaservices.com. As the show called Business Talk with Ajay, and of course Mr. Ajay is a part of SAI CPA Services. He's the founder of SAI CPA Services. Today he's not in, he's taking care of his health, so he could not make it, but I'm here to give you all the latest business news that you really need to know, and Ajay perhaps will be watching it at home. So Ajay, hope you feel better and hope to see you next week. Now let's continue with the business news. First of all, when it comes to business, of course economy is related. So the US economy expanded at a remarkably strong pace in the third quarter, and this is more than expected. Despite interest rates at their highest level in 22 years, gross domestic product, a measure of all goods and services produced in the economy, grew at an annualized 4.9%. Now this is more than analysts that had predicted. 4.9% rate in the third quarter. The Commerce Department reported just a couple of days ago. GDP, gross domestic product, is adjusted for inflation and seasonal swings. That's well above the second quarter's 2.1% pace and faster than economists' expectations of a 4.3% rate. But of course, there are warning signs underlying the eye-popping numbers. Americans saved less and their incomes, adjusted for inflation, fell over the summer. That could mean the pace of spending will ease in the coming months. Business investment also failed. Meanwhile, rising long-term interest rate, wars in Ukraine and the Middle East, and the possibility of a partial government shutdown could cause economic cracks to emerge. A 12th interest rate hike for this year remains on the table. Now this could happen. I'm not saying it will happen, but if it happens, it will be the 12th interest rate hike for the year 2023. Now, but the Fed chairman's main strategy now to defeat inflation is to keep rates higher for longer. So let's see, what happens when the Fed decides to raise interest rate in the month of December. A 12th, historically a record-breaking interest rate that will be in the month of December. However, everyone is predicting the Fed should not bother increasing interest rates because mortgage rates are high, credit card rates are high, everywhere there are high interest rates, and this is really putting a dent in the real estate market. But economy is growing, and now Fed needs to figure out that how come economy is growing more than expectations, and what do we do with the rates? And of course, inflation comes in the picture. So come December, we will know what Fed decides. Okay, after this, let's have some business news in the short. Facebook's parent company, Meta, topped quarterly estimates with revenue up 23% and the profits up more than twice from a year ago. While Meta's been slashing cost, it expects higher losses from its metaverse biz. So now Meta, meaning Facebook, is obviously reporting a profit. That's going to be okay. But the other company, Metaverse Biz, they are saying that they could report a loss. So let's see what happens. Now moving on to the FTX story, FTX Bitcoin story. FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried testified today in the court. While he testified today in the court, but before he decided to testify, the lawyer said that he was going to testify, and the former prosecutor called that this could be a Hail Mary move. Now, Hail Mary move reference to in the football game, in NFL football game, when you are down in the fourth quarter and less than a few seconds left and you've got one throw to make, that's called Hail Mary. So in this reference, the prosecutor is saying that FTX CEO and founder Sam Bankman-Fried, if he testifies, then he's got a chance to prove his story that he is innocent. So he testified today in the court. even though he was not really clearly answering questions. Judge had to tell him few times to answer questions directly. He looked confused. He was lost. He gave the answers just like, saying that his lawyers knew about business policies, and his lawyers, company lawyers rather, had prepared all the documents and everything, and he followed them, and so on and so forth. Now this trial continues, and in the next episode we'll have more information, but this is really, really getting interesting. The next story has to do with Anheuser-Busch. Anheuser-Busch is the beer company, and they own the Budweiser. In the beverage industry, they signed a 6-year marketing partnership with the UFC, the largest mixed martial arts known as MMA organization in the world, in which Bud Light is the official beer sponsor. The 9-figure deal comes as AB InBev. That's the short form they use. AB means Anheuser-Busch, InBev means in beverage. So AB InBev tries to reverse the Bud sales slump in the US after boycott. Now this sales, this is really interesting because Budweiser sales have been going down lately. Obviously you must have noticed that the bars are full, people are having time of their life, they are drinking and everything, but there is a very stiff competition, and a Bud Light, who used to have a major market share a few years ago, slowly it is declining. So now they are giving a shot with this UFC thing to see if they can revive the sales and bring in more revenue. Next story has to do with Boeing. Boeing posted a higher than expected 1.6 billion quarterly loss after a manufacturing issue affected a number of its best-selling 737 MAX planes. The company says that it will deliver 57 fewer jets than planned. Now I also want to add in it here that in some episodes, previously episodes, we talked about that Boeing's getting orders left and right. But this one fleet Boeing 737, because there is a little bit of difficulty in manufacturing those kind of planes in their fleet, Boeing is reporting heavy loss because 57 fewer jets could add up to, I don't know, maybe $1.6 billion. So let's see what happens. All right, now there's the good news. The United Auto Workers and the Ford tentatively agreed to a 4-year labor deal pending approval by union leadership. Now this, I don't see any problem that union leadership is going to deny that, because just recently, as we go into the taping of the show, the news has come out that the union leadership, they have directed Ford employees to get ready to get back to work. Now Ford has to contact the manufacturers of all these small parts to big parts in order to manufacture auto. So this will happen, and this would end 6-week strike at Ford while negotiations continue with GM and the Stellantis. Stellantis is an electric motor vehicle, and I just want to add one more thing, that the one of the agreements that Ford and the union employees reach is such that the employees are going to get 24% pay increase for the first 4 years, and in the first year alone they're going to see about 11% rate increase. So that is the deal right now. Now this strike, UAW, United Auto Workers strike, is also the first first strike the union has walked out at all 3 automakers at the same time. But it didn't flex its all muscles. It's not like they went out everywhere and then they closed all the locations and everything. They started with the closing selected locations and called on a strike while all the employees came out in picketing line and started to protest. But it's a good sign that the Ford has agreed. Now let's see how soon GM reaches the agreement with the auto workers union. So as we continue this business stories here in the business talk with AJ, just want to remind you that AJ is not in today, and I am here, but at least I'm getting you all the latest business related stories from all over the world in the show, the business talk with AJ. So right after United Auto Workers strike story, let's move on to the next story, which has to do with the this is really big one. Streaming is getting more expensive. We love to stream, whether it's a smart device, whatever smart device you have. Everyone, everywhere, they are streaming because you got so many choices. So now streaming is getting expensive. Apple TV, like Netflix and Hulu, is increasing its prices. Users now will pay $10 a month, up from $7 most recently and $5 at its 2019 launch. This is a big news. You may not notice a big increase. You're going to say, all right, it's a $10 a month, but slowly, if Apple does it, then Hulu is going to do it. If Hulu does it, then Netflix and Amazon and all the other streaming platform will follow. So this is really getting very serious, and soon you will see pretty steep price for streaming all your favorite shows and whatever that you want to see on this streaming platform. All right, let's talk about YouTube and TikTok. Everyone knows that YouTube's main rival is TikTok, and now what's happening is that TikTok is averaging about 70 billion daily views. 70 billion, up from 50 billion to start the year, and the ad revenue beat expectations at nearly $8 billion in last quarter. That shows the strength of TikTok, and obviously YouTube has been a favorite. YouTube has been a favorite all along, but now TikTok coming along and giving a stiff competition, that is something very interesting. In the end, I want to say TikTok is hosting a musical festival in Arizona, and of course that's going to be live stream on December 10th with Cardi B, then Niali Horan, Anita, and Charlie Puth, and many more. So that's going to be interesting for TikTok users. With that note, it's time for us to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have more business stories for you in this Business Talk with Ajay. Stay with us. Welcome back to the second half of the Business Talk with Ajay. Mr. Ajay Kumar of SAI CPA Services is not here today. You may have guessed it, tax season is over. That means, all the CPAs and accountants, they get a little break between October and December. But he has taken a day off, and hopefully he will be joining us next week. But I am your host, Sanjeev Pandya, and I am happy to bring you all the latest stories that you need to know in this Business Talk show. Remember, SAI CPA Services is a full-fledged accounting firm, and they can help you, guide you with any tax related problems, issues that you have. Even though you're looking for very knowledgeable, experienced CPAs, then it's time for you to contact SAI CPA Services now to get ready for the next year's tax filing for the year 2023. Give them a call at 908-380-6876 or visit their website saicpaservices.com. All right, now let's bring in with US politics. In an unexpected twist, former President Donald Trump took the witness stand earlier in the week in his New York civil trial to defend himself, not against any of the fraud charges that he faces in the case, but to respond to the judge's assertion that he had violated a gag order in place. So judge asked him to sit in the witness stand, and judge ordered him to pay $10,000 fine and gave him a warning also that not to criticize judges, staff members. Trump has been indirectly doing that, and that was the reason that he was called in a witness stand. It was very unusual. Anyway, President Donald Trump and his former attorney Michael Cohen's testimony is going on. The case is going on. We'll see what happens. Now talk about finally having a speaker in the House. Yes, nobody knew that it would happen this soon, but finally, it's happening, and it didn't feel possible after 3 straight weeks of chaos. One came in and the other left and the other could not win. All that happened, but finally, Congress Rep Mike Johnson, a Republican from Louisiana, in his 4th term, has been elected in the first round. He's got 220 fellow House Republicans vote in the first round. And I want to add that this rep, Mike Johnson, now the Speaker of the House, is a Trump ally. Trump is backing him up. So, and being a Speaker of the House now, that makes Mike Johnson second person to lead the country in case if something happens to the President of United States of America. All right, now let's bring in a business news from India. India likely to surpass Japan to become world's third largest economy by 2030. Now, this is the this is the year that they have predicted, 2030. Who knows if it's going to happen sooner or not? The report attributes India's economic growth to a notable acceleration of foreign direct investment inflows over the past 10 years. Whoever the people are saying that Modi is not doing enough and there is no foreign direct investment, they should really look at this S&P report, and they say that India's GDP is projected to double, reaching 7.3 trillion by the end of this decade, and that's going to be up from 3.5 trillion in 2022. So that is very interesting news. India is really shining and rising. All right, the other news from the business world is a very sad news, but I want to bring it in here because it's a very unfortunate incident that happened. If you are chai lover and if you've been drinking chai, you may have heard a name called Wagh Bakri. Yes, this is the product manufactured in Gujarat, Wagh Bakri. So Wagh Bakri chai, of course, Wagh means tiger and Bakri means goat. So now Wagh Bakri chai is one of the leading brands in the world. In a very unfortunate incident you want to call, accident you want to call, Parag Desai, the executive director of the Wagh Bakri group, passed away in a private hospital last week. He was 49 years old and he was attacked by stray dogs outside his home. He suffered a brain hemorrhage as he fell on the road while being chased by stray dogs. And Parag was a master tea tester and evaluator. He oversaw the company's export marketing and sales divisions, and his leadership brought about a tremendous transition from the Wagh Bakri group. All right, so now Wagh Bakri has really made a name on their international level, and Parag Desai worked very hard. But look at the destiny that, he was just chased by stray dogs and then he fell down, had a brain hemorrhage, and he passed away. Just last year, Wagh Bakri, the company itself, had donated vans to have those stray dogs picked up. They had donated vans to Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation, known as AMC. 2 vans they donated to have stray dogs picked up and put them away from the public, and in the end, he gets killed by this stray dogs. Very sad story. May his soul rest in peace. All right, now moving on to the other stories. Let's bring in the stories. Of course, when it's a business, there is a sports story. Also very interesting sports story. The NBA basketball and the NHL hockey season has just started, but right now, Major League Baseball, that is MLB, is a hot issue. The Arizona Diamondbacks are going to the World Series. Yes, that's the same team that lost 110 games 2 years ago. The same team that barely sneaked into the playoffs with 84 victories. This was a really underdog team. And the same team that was actually outscored during the regular season, and the same team that is now one of the last 2 standing. So really interesting. They're going to give it a really good fight to Texas Rangers. Arizona Diamondbacks got into World Series after they shocked the Philadelphia Phillies, winning Game 7 in the Philadelphia. And now Arizona Diamondbacks and Texas Rangers are all set for the World Series championship. Let's see what happens with that one. All right, and that's a story from the US sports. Now talk about cricket. The World Cup 2023 is going in full swing in India. India currently on the top of the table, having won 5 games and not lost any games. But I really don't want to jinx it by talking too much. India and England are scheduled to meet this coming Sunday. This could be a very major game. So after England, India will play against South Africa and then Sri Lanka and then Netherlands to see what happens. Now England, which is a defending champion, and they are just unbelievably getting defeated by many teams. Their record is now 1-4. So let's see what happens. But World Cup now, almost a little more than halfway through, is getting interesting. Okay, now here is I put together this very informative piece for you. We all celebrated Dussehra just last week, Dussehra 2023. Dussehra is known as the victory of good over evil. So now, as we know about Dussehra festival, Lord Ram and his wife Sita and Lord Hanuman and Ravana and everything. Now there's something to learn from Dussehra, and every single Indian mythology there is always something to learn from them. Now we are putting together that what to learn from this festival of Dussehra into the world of business, and you'll be surprised. So let's go step by. There are 10 points. Okay, there are 10 financial life lessons to learn. So quickly I'm going to go in there and then see if you can make a note of it, and this will help you to plan your future better. Okay, number 1 is destroy all evils. Yes, destroy all evils. Dussehra marks the triumph of good or evil. So examining the festival through the lens of finance and investment. So that means wherever you're losing money, whatever is not working out, eliminate those. Second, set your goals. According to the Ramayana, Sri Ram resolved to defeat and kill Ravan in order to save Devi Sita. So from there, we can learn to resolve and set sensible financial goals and strive hard to accomplish them. So that is the set your goals. The third one is be prepared for emergencies, because we can learn to be brave when faced with challenges from Sri Ram's unwavering resolve and bravery in the face of hardship. Number 4 is the life of patience and perseverance. Sri Ram fought the Lankan war with perseverance and determination. So in investing in the stocks and in the world of business, you need to have patience and perseverance, because that's a really important. One of the most important things to remember in the world of business, or whether you're just investing, protect what's yours. When Ravana abducted Mata Sita, Rama mustered an army of monkeys and bears to find Mata Sita, and wanted to, all along Lord Rama wanted to protect what's yours. The number 6 is never be afraid. When you have to fight and get the evil out of the way, never be afraid. Lord Rama, being a devoted son and husband and a brother, Lord Rama was a courageous fighter. So be ready to take up on a fight. Number 7 is checking misuse of power. All right, the powerful Lankan king Ravana abused his position of authority by abducting Mata Sita. And till Rama saw the battle coming, this Dussehra we learned never to abuse our power and hard-earned money. And now here comes number 8. Number 8 is a live a disciplined life. Lord Rama's righteousness placed a strong emphasis on a value of a living and disciplined and responsible life. By making smart investments, spending sensibly, and saving prudently, you too can develop discipline in your life. Number 9 is significance of planning. Lord Rama's strategic warfare planning allowed him to defeat Ravana. This emphasizes how crucial financial preparation is. One needs to properly organize their finances, taking into account any obstacles that may arise, establish financial objectives, account for taxes, make an emergency fund, manage debt, and make retirement plans as part of your personal financial plan. And the last, and number 10, is important for all of us, and that is new beginnings. All right, beginning anew is the message of the Dussehra festival. The events of the Lanka war and Lord Rama's victory give us the message to start new things in the life. You may begin by creating the ideal financial strategy for you by taking stock of your existing financial status, assessing your priorities, creating a budget, paying off debt, and automating savings. You may have a fresh start financially. These 10 points related to the Dussehra festival perhaps will help you to lead a better and successful life. Diwali is around the corner, so make a note of it. And with that note, we come to the end of this episode, the Business Talk with AJ. I am Sanjeev Pandya, wishing you all happy and good days ahead. Take care of yourself. So long.